today's cake making show, the bakery show, and today we are going to learn how to make a cake from our member of the CRC family, Kankana, who is presently located at Bangalore, and baking is her hobby, rather a passion. Let's learn how to make a beautiful butterscotch cake, and I'm sure after viewing this video all of you will make a try and will be making cakes tomorrow. Let's enjoy making of a cake.
Hello, good evening and a very warm welcome. I am Konkana. I'm not really a baker by profession, but it's something that I really like doing. So it's a passion that has grown on me since my childhood, because I used to bake little cakes and cookies with my grandmom. So that's where it all started. So Caesar uncle approached me to do this session and show a demonstrate basically demonstrate the decoration of a cake. So that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to make a butterscotch cake. A lot of people really like it. I personally like the butterscotch cakes that I've been eating for so many years now in Calcutta. So let's get started. At some point I'm going to stand and do the decoration, because it gets a little difficult. So and of course I want you guys to just concentrate on what I'm doing rather than on me. So to begin with, I have some whipped cream here. Okay, I'm just going to put a dollop of whipped cream on my cake board so that the cake base sticks to it. So this is my vanilla sponge. I'm putting one layer of it. I've cut the cake in 3 layers already. So this is the first layer that I've put. And what we are going to do is we will soak this layer with some plain water. Okay, I've got some plain water here. So I'm just going to spray it on the cake. So what it does is it helps retain the moisture in the cake, and even if you put the cake in the fridge, it doesn't get hard. Okay, so this is done. Now because it's a butterscotch cake, I've got a butterscotch crush here, okay, which is easily available in the market. So I'm going to add this crush to my whipped cream to give it the nice butterscotch flavor. You can also use a butterscotch sauce, homemade butterscotch sauce, if you like. So I've taken some whipped cream and I'm just adding some butterscotch crush to it. So this is about 2 tablespoons of crush that I've added, and I'm going to give this a nice mix. Okay, so now this is the cream that we are going to use for the filling of the cake. So I've got my palette knife here. I'm just going to spread the cream on this layer with the help of the palette knife. So how much cream to add is totally up to you, depending on whether you prefer to eat less cream or more cream. Accordingly you can add the cream in the layers. So just spread it out nicely and evenly. Okay, so once that is done, I have some butterscotch chips here which I've crushed and kept already. So I'm just going to spread it on this layer, like just sprinkle some of it, so that when you bite into the cake you get a nice crunch of the butterscotch. Okay, this is done. Now I'm going to place the second layer of cake on this. So very carefully just place the layer and press it a little, okay? And then again we are going to soak this layer with plain water. So just soak it nicely, especially the corners, because the corners tend to get harder faster, okay? Now again we are going to repeat the process of the cream and the butterscotch crush. So I'm again mixing the butterscotch crush with the cream, okay, and just put it on this layer. So I'm just going to use up all the cream which is in the bowl, because this is the only butterscotch flavored cream that we are using. I'm not going to use it on the outside. So just take it all, and then again using the palette knife, spread it nicely. Okay. Now there's one more thing that you can do if you want to increase the flavor of butterscotch. You can just take a bit of crush, pour it on this layer, okay, like 1 tablespoon of the crush is what you can take, and then with your palette knife just spread it out onto this layer, okay. So it gives you a little more of the butterscotch flavor if you like. So this is optional. You may or may not want to add a separate layer of butterscotch crush onto the cream. Okay, and then again sprinkle some of the butterscotch onto this layer as well. Okay, so this is done. Now I'm going to place the third and the final layer of the cake. Again, press it a little with your hands so that the layers get settled and they don't move around when you're working on the cake. And I'm going to soak this layer again. Plain water is what I'm using, like I've done for the other 2 layers. Now once this is done, now we are going to cover the cake with some cream. So what I'm going to do is always clean your palette knife. Okay, it's very important to use a clean palette knife, so you can just keep a tissue handy and keep rubbing it and cleaning it with it, because otherwise what happens is the cream you don't get a good finish. Okay, so now it's time for me to stand and show you how to cover the cake with cream. So I'm using the same whipped cream. Okay, I'm first going to cover the sides. Okay, see, if you can see, there are these gaps between the layers, so that is very important to fill, because otherwise what happens is your cake doesn't get a good support and it becomes a little topsy-turvy. Okay, so I'm first going to cover those gaps and the sides of the cake. So this process of covering the cake with a thin layer of cream is called crumb coating. Okay, the reason why it's called crumb coating is because you know, the cake has a lot of crumbs which kind of disturb the working. When you're working on the cake, it kind of disturbs that process, and then you don't get a good finishing on the cake. You tend to see these little cake crumbs on the icing. So in order to arrest those crumbs, it's very important to apply a thin layer of cream on your cake so that those crumbs get arrested, and then when you're doing the final finishing of your cake, you get like a nice smooth finishing. So I'm doing the same thing for the top as well. See, I'm just applying a very thin layer of cream. To the top, and I'm just going to smoothen out the sides and remove the excess cream from the sides. And any gaps that you see wherever you think you've not applied cream, just apply the cream there. Okay, so this is done. Now ideally after crumb coating the cake, you should keep the cake in the fridge for about 15 minutes so that this cream gets nice and chilled and it becomes easy for you to work on the finishing of the cake. So I'm just going to pop it in the fridge for 5 minutes, and in the meanwhile we will prepare the rest of the icing for the cake. So my cake has gone to the fridge. Now what I want to do is basically I want to cover the cake with a very light pink color icing. Okay, so I'm going to add some food color to my cream. So I've got my bowl here. I'm taking some of the whipped cream. I'm going to knead it all. Okay, so I've taken the whipped cream in my bowl, and I have these food color here. These are gel colors. So when you have to add food color to whipped cream, just make sure you are using a gel color and not a liquid color, because the liquid color will just loosen up the cream and you lose the texture of the whipped cream. Okay. So to begin with, I've added like just 1 drop of the food color, because like I said, I want a very light shade. So if I need more, I can add more, but if I add too much of color to begin with, I'll not be able to rectify it. See, can you see there's like a nice pink shade that we've got? So, but it's a little too light. I'm just going to add 1 more drop of it. Okay, so give that a nice mix. So this color seems fine. I don't think we need to add more color to it. We've got a blush pink color of sorts. See. Okay. So now I'm just going to take the cake out of the fridge so that we can cover it with this cream that we've prepared. Okay. I'm just going to clean the cake board because there's a bit of cream which is you should just clean the cake board before you do the final icing, because once you've done the icing, then it becomes a little difficult, and sometimes you tend to destroy the design that you've done. Okay, now I'm going to show you an easy way of applying cream. Normally what we would do is we would take the cream, put it on the palette knife, and just start applying it. But there are a lot of people who don't know how much of cream to put. sometimes it's less on the side, it's more on the other side. So in that case, what you should do is take a piping bag. Okay, this is how the piping bag looks. It's a plastic bag. Okay, and take your cream in this. So what you should do is take a glass, put your piping bag in it. Okay, I've just taken a glass and I've put my piping bag. Then take your cream and fill the piping bag with this cream. Okay, I'm just going to fill in some more because it's a big cake, so we are going to need a little more cream. See. So I've filled my piping bag with the cream and I'm just going to give a small cut here. Okay. Now just hold the piping bag, squeeze out the cream and keep rotating your turntable. Okay. So what will happen is you will get a nice even layer of cream on your cake. So once the bottom layer is done, then keep going up. So this is how we are going to cover the entire cake, the sides of the cake at least. See, we've reached the top now. So just keep going. Okay, this is done. Now take your palette knife, okay, and smoothen out the cream. All you need to do is just touch the cream with the palette knife and keep rotating your turntable. Okay. See, we're getting a nice smooth finish on the sides. So just keep going till you're happy with the finishing. Okay, this is done. Now the same way we are going to apply the cream on the top as well. Okay, but I don't want too much cream on the top because I'm going to do some decoration with cream, with the whipped cream itself, and I don't want the cake to become too creamy. So I'm not going to apply as much cream as I have applied on the sides, but I will apply a thin layer of cream. So let me just apply this first and see if I need more. See, if you feel that the cream is seeming less somewhere, you can just add some more cream to it. Or like I said, if you like creamy cakes, then you can add as much cream as you like. There's no problem at all. So again, I'm just going to smoothen out the top. Just hold your palette knife and keep rotating the turntable. Okay. Now this is another tool that I'm going to use. It's called a scraper. It just helps to give a very nice and smooth finishing to the sides of the cake. So I'm just going to use this to smoothen out the sides and give it a nice finish. Okay. Now once that is done, again clean your palette knife. And you can see the cream here, it's not looking smooth. So just hold your palette knife and drag the cream from outside to inside. And once you've done that, you have to wipe off this excess cream. So I'm just putting it in a bowl that I have. See, this is how it needs to be done. Just drag it from outside to inside with a very gentle stroke. Okay. So see, we've got a nice finishing. Now for this top, what you can do is you can either leave it plain like this, or you can give it a swirl movement. So I'll show you how. You can do it with the palette knife itself. So place your palette knife at the edge and just keep rotating the turntable. Okay, then come to the inside of the cake. So that's the second swirl, and just keep going till you reach the center of the cake. Okay, see, that's how the swirl looks, right? So next what we are going to do is, I have made some white chocolate ganache here. Okay, this is how the white chocolate ganache looks. So in order to make white chocolate ganache, you should always take 3 parts of chocolate and 1 part of cream. So if you're taking say 100 grams of white chocolate compound, and it is a chocolate compound, it is not the Amul chocolate that you get, it's the cooking chocolate. So if you're taking 100 grams of white chocolate compound, then you need to add 30 grams of Amul fresh cream to it. Okay. And I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow color to this. Again, this is a food color and it's a gel color. So I'm just going to again start with a drop of the color. Okay, give that a nice mix. Again, I'm looking at a very light pastel shade, so I don't want the color to be too bright. So this is how the color looks. Okay. So I'm going to fill this into my piping bag because I want to do some drips with it. I'll show you how the drips are also done. So again, I've taken a piping bag. I will place it in the glass and I will just pour this ganache inside the icing bag. Okay, so see, I've taken my ganache in the icing bag. Just twist it so that the ganache doesn't ooze out from behind. And to this, I'm going to give a very small cut here. Okay. Okay, so I've cut the icing bag. Now I just want to do the drips. See, the length of the drips will depend on the amount of pressure and chocolate that you pour. Okay, some will be long, some will be short. So it depends on how you want the drips to look. But just make sure there is gap between the drips. They shouldn't be overlapping with each other. So just continue with the same action. So we're almost done with the drips. Okay, so see, that's how the drips look, and they've all fallen naturally. So this method of doing the drip is called an artificial drip. Okay, where we've made the drips happen, they haven't happened naturally. So once the drips are done, I'm going to take the same chocolate and I'm going to apply it on the top layer of the cake as well. Okay, so just keep going in circles and keep squeezing out the chocolate, the ganache basically. It doesn't matter if the circles are not even, because we are going to smoothen out the layer. So wherever you feel the chocolate is less, the ganache, just apply some more. Okay, and then using the palette knife, we are just going to smoothen out the ganache. So just make sure your hand is very, very light, because you don't want to spoil the icing below the ganache. Okay, so just use a very light hand when you are doing this. So of course the swirl motion that we had done below was to show you how a swirl is done. It's all gotten covered with the ganache now. But the same thing you can do on the ganache as well. Just make sure you have a very smooth top. And also this is one process that you'll have to do very quickly, because the chocolate tends to set very fast. Okay, so again, if you want to do the same swirl motion, hold your palette knife and keep rotating the turntable. And you'll be able to get that same swirl motion, swirl design that I had shown you on the icing layer. Okay, see, This is how it looks. Okay, that's done. Now next, I'm going to do some design on the top. Like I was telling you, I'm going to use the cream to make some designs on top. Now for that, I already have some of my leftover whipped cream. Just need to clean this spatula. Okay, so I have some of the leftover whipped cream. This cream is not going to be enough. We're going to need some more, but I have some more whipped cream in the fridge. So let me just get that out. So I've taken out some more whipped cream. And again I'm going to add the pink food color, but this time I want the color to be a little darker. So I'm adding 2 drops of the food color to start with. See the color? Okay. Now I'm going to fill this in my piping bag, but this time I'm going to fit my piping bag with a nozzle. Okay. So this is the nozzle that I'm using. It's an open star nozzle, and I'm going to pipe some rosettes on top of the cake. So I've taken my piping bag. I will put my nozzle inside and I'm going to cut it here. Just enough for the nozzle to come out. Okay. And again I'm going to fill my piping bag with this cream. So this is another way that you can fill the piping bag. Just hold it like this. Take the cream on your spatula, put it inside and pull out the spatula. Okay. So if you find it easier to put the piping bag in the glass and then put the icing, you can do that also. Okay, so I've taken the cream in the piping bag and now I'm going to pipe some rosettes on the cake. Okay, basically just hold your piping bag straight at a 90 degree, squeeze out some cream and make a circle. Okay, so that's a rosette. So we are going to use the same method and pipe rosettes all around. So squeeze and turn. So just keep going using the same motion. See. So this design is called a rosette design and it's one of the very popular designs for a cake. If you don't want to put a ganache and do all of that, you can simply cover the cake with multiple such roses. Okay, so we've made like a nice circle. Now I want to pipe some more smaller roses on this. Okay, so what I'll do is I will use the same cream. I'm going to use the same cream, and I'm just going to add some more pink color to it to give it a darker shade of pink. Okay, so I've squeezed out the cream from the piping bag. There was some leftover cream here as well, which again I'm going to use. Okay, now let me show you one more thing. See, what happens is when you keep the whipped cream and it's sitting on your bench, it tends to get dry. Okay, and there are a lot of bubbles that come in the cream. So it doesn't mean that the cream has gone waste and you can't use it anymore. All that you need to do is just take your spatula and beat the cream like this, and you will again get a nice smooth whipped cream. That's all that you need to do. Okay, I'll just take a little bit more of cream and I'll add some more pink color to it to give it a darker shade of pink. You can just hold the bowl against your cake and just check how dark this color is, and if you need a little more contrast, then you can add some more color. See. Okay. Now there's one more thing that you can do. If you don't want to add so much food color in the whipping cream, you can add some color to your piping bag. I'll show you how. So you just need to take your piping bag. This is another color that I have. It's a pink color only. And I'm using the same piping bag that I had used before because I don't want to waste this piping bag that I have. So just apply the color inside. Okay, just rub it nicely so that the piping bag on the inside gets coated with the color, and then you fill it in with the cream. So I'm just putting this cream into the piping bag. Okay, so this is done. Now always remember, when after you filled the piping bag with the cream, just squeeze out some cream, okay, in order to take out all the air bubbles, right? So again twist the piping bag, and now I'm going to make small rosettes. Just this much. These are mini rosettes, okay? You can pipe as many as you want, and the design is totally up to you. Whenever you're making a cake, you have to use your own creativity for the design. because when you're making a cake, you are the artist, right? You have the canvas in front of you and you decide how the finished product needs to look. Okay, so I've put some roses on top. I'll just put a few of them here as well. Again, the small ones. I'm not putting very big rosettes. And I've used the same nozzle that I had used for making the big rosettes. Okay, so this is done. Now the last thing to be done is to put some leaves. Okay, now for the leaves, what I will do is, of course I'll need some cream. So I've taken some whipped cream here and I'm going to add in a green food color. I'm again using a gel color. Just add 1 drop of it because it's quite a dark color, so I just want to see how the color comes before I add in more. So because the overall combination of the cake, we've used very light colors. I don't want the green to be too dark also, but this seems to be a little too light. It's almost like a mint green, but we want them to look like leaves. So I'm just adding 1 more drop of the green color. And I'm going to mix it nicely. I think little more is required, might be a little too light. Okay, I think I've now got the right color of green, the right shade of green. Okay. So again we need a piping bag, but I'm not going to use any nozzle. I'm going to show you how to get the leaf design without a nozzle. So just hold the tip of the piping bag and give it a V cut. Okay. This is an inverted V cut that I've given to the piping bag, and now I'm just going to fill in the cream. I'm not using any nozzle here. So I'll just fill the piping bag with the cream. And just pull the cream down, push it down, and then see this V side is on the top. I'm just going to squeeze out the cream and pull it out. Can you see the leaf design that we've got here? So I'm just going to continue doing the same action in some other places as well. Just squeeze and pull. Squeeze and pull. Okay? See how lovely the leaves are looking, and we haven't used any nozzle here. You can just put some leaves on top as well, or you can leave it out. It's optional. Like I said, the design is totally up to you. You can take inspiration from various artists, etc., or you can create something of your own, whatever works for you. Okay, so that's how it looks. Now to finish the cake, I'm not putting any border over here, but I have a silver dust. Okay, this is a silver dust. It's an edible dust which I'm going to spray on the cake to give it a nice sheen. So just hold it and keep spraying it. This just gives a nice shine to the cake. And I'm just doing it on the top. I don't need it at on the sides really. Okay, so this is done. So let me put all this away. Sorry. So that's how the final cake looks. This is how the cake looks. I'm just going to rotate it and show it to you from the sides. I hope you all liked it. So this is our butterscotch cake. It doesn't really look anything like the typical butterscotch cakes that we are used to seeing. It looks very, very different. So you can actually play a guessing game with your friends when you make this cake and ask them to guess the right flavor, and maybe they get the biggest slice of the cake. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.